Hello, my name is Lucinda Lewis and these are my charity closet picks. So today we are in Shabitat on Lewes Road in Brighton, and as per the rules of the show I have £5 to spend. It is pay as you feel, so I'm not sure how many I'm going to pick, but there may be a couple. So let's see what I find. I suppose I call myself a DIY filmmaker, as well as photographer and just creative artist in general. But above all that, I would say I'm a huge film fan as well. I just love everything about films, physical media, just the lore of cinema, the history of cinema. Yeah, I'm just a massive film geek. Okay, I've seen one here, which I suppose I've partially seen this because I originally had a DVD, but it had something wrong with the disc, so I never actually finished watching it. White Men Can't Jump with Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. I would like to see the end of it, potentially, and I'm a big fan of both of these actors, so where should we put them? So let's put them here. This isn't a maybe, but it's a shout out because I'm a massive Scooby-Doo fan. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is my favourite of all the films that they made, early 2000s. So if you haven't seen this, I would highly recommend it. You don't have to be a kid to watch it as well. It's actually quite terrifying in some aspects. Maybe Scooby-Doo is one of my big inspirations, who knows. I'm interested in getting this, I think, potentially, because it's one that I've never actually seen, which is quite unusual for me. The Wizard of Oz. It's also one of those films that even if you haven't seen it, you feel like you've seen it already. I definitely want to finally witness potentially something that I'm gonna love. With my filmmaking, I make kind of low budget shorts at the moment, as well as music videos, and my latest short film is a horror, sort of folk horror kind of inspired, which is available to watch, and it's called The Bothy on the Cold Moor. Yeah, it was all kind of just self-shot, edited, me doing most things, maybe apart from the music. My short Bothy was shot in the Scottish Highlands, which is also where I'm based at the moment and have been for quite a while. So I really wanted to explore the scenery and the mood and the feel of the Highlands. Yeah, you should definitely have a look and see. Okay, I found something quite strange, which I've never heard of it before, but I'm very intrigued. It is called, well, I think it's called The Blackout, but it says sex, drugs, alcohol equals the blackout. So yeah, and it's by Abel Ferrara. So if you already know his films, you know that they are quite interesting, and I've never heard of this film, so I'm very intrigued. It also has Dennis Hopper in it.
Sounds intense.
Yeah, it does. Let's put that in the maybe pile. Okay. My whole family is like huge film fans. They're all very broad and they're all different, but this definitely reminds me of my grandmother, who loved films, loved cinema. Her husband used to call her or tell her that she had a celluloid mind, so I guess I've got it from her. But Billy Elliot was one of her favourite films, and it's, I guess, one of mine as well. It's sort of representation of family is so real and natural and beautiful. It's sad, it's a sad situation they're in, but it's just shot so beautifully. Also the use of the music, especially, T-Rex, is just amazing. I think it's a brilliant film. If you have not seen that, watch it, please. I'm not going to get this one because I already own it, but the film The Warriors is a cult classic from the 70s, which is about American gangs, and it's set over one night I love it. It's one of my favourite films, actually. So I would definitely recommend you watching this, but particularly this version of it, because there is a director's cut which I don't think is as good as this one. Yeah, I'll leave that for someone else. So as well as doing my DIY films, I also do a lot of photography, and I shoot mainly on film and black and white film, colour film, and it's just something I've developed over time, particularly portraits. Yeah, I've always just wanted to capture people and show them in a kind of beautiful way, but also mix it with textures and colours and shapes, and just make it very structural as well. So I love black and white film for that. I do love my photography, but I want film to be the next thing for me. I also like to kind of build up, kind of having the film and the imagery. I like to kind of design the posters and everything, so it's very much this whole experience for me, which I like about the kind of DIY aspect of it as well. But
that's very cool.
Let me just check why.
I appreciate the thoroughness of looking through the shelves, because not everyone would.
You've got to look at it a couple of times, because your eyes do not see everything, you know.
Yeah.
You've got to kind of
and there's
zone
two layers.
There's
two layers. You need to like shift them around and see what's behind.
Oh my god,
there's
yeah.
a lot going on. I've never heard of this. It's called Hearts in Atlantis, which sounds kind of mythical, but I don't think it is. Oh, okay, it's a Stephen King. Of course it's a Stephen King. It's got Anthony Hopkins in it as well. So.
Is it directed by anyone interested?
Scott Hicks. Yeah, I don't know what he's done, but he probably hasn't done anything I can think of. But yeah.
No disrespect.
Well, no disrespect to Mr. Hicks here. We've got it says it's a gentle, innocent, coming-of-age tearjerker. So it sounds pretty serious.
I feel like there's dozens of films with that poster of Anthony Hopkins.
That's just his head.
Yeah.
It's just a stock image.
Oh my god.
Films with that poster.
I'm still gonna consider it, so it's gonna go on the consider me pile.
Can I ask you, if you have any specific films or photos or artists that have influenced your experimental filmmaking and portraiture?
Yeah. So.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So as I said, I'm a huge film fan, so I devour everything and I will watch anything, but I would definitely say John Waters, the sort of cyberpunk Japanese kind of early 2000s, kind of 80s to 2000s, things like Tetsuo the Iron Man, the ones that they themselves have become almost as famous as their films. The way that they would go off in the 70s and make these independent, off-the-grid films, and they were their most popular films that they made at the time, and they lived on and they became cult classics. So I'm just very inspired by that way of working, and I suppose it's a kind of romanticization of it as well. But yeah. And then we have Lynn Ramsey's early stuff. I just kind of love so much about so many different things that it just comes together and hopefully kind of inspires me to make something good. This is a very bizarre one, especially because of where we are as well in Brighton. And it's not even a film, it's a souvenir DVD video of this performance called Waltzing Waters, which is weirdly close to where I'm based, up in Scotland. It was knocked down about 15 years ago, and I just think it's quite bizarre that it's here, and I am intrigued and might take it with me just to kind of to watch it and see what's going on and what used to be. I think they knocked it down to make a supermarket. A modern day wonder, the Waltzing Waters is an amazing blend of artistry and technology, a truly incredible sight. No one ever forgets. The classic musical Oliver, which is for me kind of like a Christmas film in our family. We usually watch it every year, maybe particularly because my mum has a kind of obsession with Oliver Reed, but we won't go into that. The music is incredible, and it's, again, very beautifully shot. Yeah, it's a very kind of comfort, warm hug kind of film. So that's Oliver. We have From Dusk Till Dawn, a Robert Rodriguez film, but it was written by Quentin Tarantino. He's also in the film. It has the notorious dance scene, let's say. It is a good film. I do enjoy it. It is a bit of a guilty pleasure. I always wanted to kind of make horror films because I had so much joy. Like, they were the first films that introduced me in a way to the bigger picture of cinema and the history of cinema. And yeah, so I've always loved horror films, and I'll always kind of go back to them.
That's it, smell.
I saw that new film, Resurrection. It's called Bypass. Chinese director. It was interesting. I'm not really sure how to do that. This film Gattaca, which I have seen once before now. It was a really, really long time ago, so I can't remember exactly, but it had almost, I think, a kind of horror aspect to it, as well as being a sort of sci-fi film. I remember it being very, the lighting was very dark and shadows, and it felt very kind of old-timely, as well as just like a great cast. Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke and Jude Law is in it. So I do definitely want to watch this one again, but I do own this one, so I'm not going to get this one. But yeah, I kind of love when films kind of defy genre as well, They can be one thing and then they can be another thing, and change the emotion of the viewer is just great. Something I, want to try and develop. And yeah, I've got kind of two projects in mind for my next 2 short films. Both kind of going on the route of horror and sort of psychological stories, but again, I really want to work with the environment where I am and kind of use that as a character as well. So I will be releasing a couple of things this year. So yeah, this is my last time that I'm doing. Tomorrow I'm just chilling out, maybe walking around. I think I found 5 things which I think I'm gonna potentially get, which are a sort of mixture of genres actually. And yeah, it sort of shows you my taste is very varied, and I'm willing to watch anything, and you never know what you can find within a film. And also like encouraging people to watch things they wouldn't necessarily want to watch as well. Waltzing Waters. This one is just bizarre, and I have to have it because it's just so random that it's here. Hearts in Atlantis. I'm always a massive fan of Stephen King, so I am excited to see this because I've never seen this before. So this is the one which has intrigued me the most actually. So sex, drugs, alcohol equals the blackout. Okay. The Wizard of Oz, because it's been far too long and I really need to get on and start watching this. And White Men Can't Jump.
Rolling and action.
Oh, the batteries have died on that one.
Oh, cut.
So these are my charity closet picks. I hope you enjoyed this little episode. And if you were intrigued by my shorts that I've been chatting about, then you can find me on Instagram at Lucy Lewis, or YouTube, Lucinda Lewis Films. Yeah, and just keep an eye out for what's to come, because I have a couple of things in the pipeline.